All right, this seems to be working. Okay, today we're going to install the GaggiMate solution on the Rancilio Silvia. Um, if somebody hasn't heard of GaggiMate, it's a smart espresso machine solution where you turn your kind of manual espresso machine into a smart connector machine with pump control, valve control, and a PID heater. So on the right side here, you see I've prepared all the tools and all the materials you need. Um, we have the little RGB screen. Um, these are the 3D printed parts. This one's for the display. And then this one's for the PCB to kind of house it into the machine. And then here we have a bunch of connectors. This is just what we have over from the group buy. You're not going to need this many. And this one, this is a PCB that we're using to do the install in the machine. You can either use this. The first round of the group buy is over, but we're going to start a second one soon. Or you can go do a Lego route. This is basically an ESP32 with a little power supply on it, the kind of the temperature sensor controller, and 3 relays on this one. And then here we have an SSR. This is not the one we're usually using. I had to borrow this from a 3D printer of mine. The one I ordered wasn't delivered. But yeah, they should work. Okay. The first step we're going to do with the install is we're going to flash the display and the board. So in GaggiMate, this is just done by the browser. So I will just switch over to my screen, connect up the components, and then we can see how it works. So this is the GaggiMate documentation website. And on this one, you have a chapter called Flashing, where you just basically see 2 little buttons. So first up, I'm going to connect the controller. When you flash the controller for the first time, you have to hold down the boot button, which you can see in the pinout here is a right button. And so I'm going to do this, hold down the button, connect it to USB, and they can kind of see it was detected. And I'm just going to flash the controller here. Yeah, this process usually takes like 1 or 2 minutes, and then should be fine. So that one's already successful. So now we can just disconnect that. I'm just going to quickly get back to the camera here and show how the screen looks like when you take it out of the package. Oh, a portion of a browser window. I'm sorry. How do I change this? Video screen? Yeah, that works. Sorry, I'm just going to do that again. So press the boot button again. And then here on the flashing website, in case you didn't see the boot button, you can see that on the pin out. It's the right button here. And now I'll just press flash control again. Here, this one is the controller. It can show up as different names, but yeah, the other ones are just Bluetooth and debug console. So, and then I'm just going to install this again. Okay, so the controller is done. As I said, I'm going to switch to the camera now to unpack the screen. So this one's completely out of the box. Um, so this is kind of what you get when you order the screen. It doesn't come attached, so you have to take this carefully out of the box. They do provide you with a little tab here to pull it out. And then you have this spacer in here. What you can basically do is you can fit a battery in here if you want. Um, I did calculate it, and it's not like for a long time. So you can probably run this for an hour at most with the battery. So right now I'll just take off these little tabs here. And I'm gonna try and glue that on there, centered. So you have to be careful how to put this on, because otherwise it's not gonna line up in the end with the casing. And yeah, that looks good. So just press this on a bit. Just be careful with the front, it's very flimsy. Okay, so the screen kind of works the same. You just plug it into USB, and I'm gonna switch back to the screen. And then let's oh, second switch back. It just comes with this clock app, I guess, when you unpack it. But yeah, we're gonna remove that. And now you can just do the same thing and flash this one. This one's going to take a bit longer. It's a much bigger app. So after the install is done, I'm going to show you how the printed parts fit. I did print out a beta version of the new mount that I posted earlier in Discord, which is basically an angled mount that fits over the edge of the machine. The mount that we currently have on the website is the magnetic mount that just fits magnetically to the front. But some people asked for an angled mount, so we did that. All right, that was it. And if I switch back now, you can already see that GaggiMate is running on the screen. There you go. It is starting. I do have the other machine running, but it's not going to find that because it is connected. So right now it's just going to keep on starting until it can find a Bluetooth connection. Okay. So next up, we have the printed part. This one is the beta mount that I was talking about. So in essence, it uses the same front shell as the old mount, but this different back piece that I printed. And then we have the PCB case. This one is the one with clips. We do provide two. One is just clipped, so nobody needs to buy screws. And the other one is with screws and heat set inserts. I'm quickly going to show you the website again, where we have a little explanation of how it fits. The new mount is not on there yet, but it will be soon. So this one is the display housing. Basically just goes in there and then you fit the front over the top. And then in the bottom there, you can see a bunch of magnets that are pressed into there. And then here we have the PCB casing. All right. I'm not going to assemble the PCB casing yet because we still have to fit all the connections to it. But I will install the screen. Oh, Discord screen died. Why did it die? Seems to work for me. So basically, you can see we have the USB connector in here, and then we just line it up with that. We do have to take this little front cover off. And then this one is not fully symmetric here, so you do have to kind of take care on how to align it. Yeah, this should work. And then just very gently push it over the top. All right. And then that just locks in place. And in this case, we can kind of fit it over the top of our machine here. And there we go. All right. So next up, I did write some instructions already for this. Let me just switch back here. So I did look at the wiring diagram, which you can kind of find here. This does have like a legend down here of what is what. And I did follow this through and wrote these short wiring instructions. So I will just start with making all these little cables that I mentioned here. And then we can do the whole install in one go. Okay, so the first one is we have to prepare a small jumper to bridge one of the thermostats. And I will just quickly grab some cable here. I'll just use a brown one. And you can really make this very short. It just goes over the two connections. So I will just do maybe around this length and then take off the insulation. And for the first one, you want to use the male spade connectors. So they are those ones. And just make the short jumper. So line this up. And press this one in. You do want to make sure this doesn't come out at some point, or it's even slightly loose, because that can mean it's arcing, and you don't want that on your machine. And this is not working. Let's try another one. I did order a tool for this, but it did not arrive. Yeah, no, this isn't working. I tried this earlier and it was working. So let's just use some pliers. Yeah, so that's worked better. So this is probably not what yours should look like. I will redo this when I have the tool. And I'll just quickly do the other one. Make sure it's very tight. And this is our first little jumper, which will basically deactivate one of the thermostats. And the other thermostat will be replaced by the SSR. Because this is a European machine, we have the Eco PCB in here. which means the machine will power down after, I think it's 30 minutes for this one. It will not power down while you're doing a shot or while you're steaming. So it's just going to trick this PCB into thinking we're steaming all the time or brewing all the time. And I'm just going to make another little jumper here. So I'm just going to get another length of wire and just do the same again. Again, make sure the connections are good because you do not want arcing in this. Which version of the Silvia? This should be the V6, I think. All right. Second jumper is done. And another one of these. Okay. So the next step on my list is the SSR connections. Um, so to not somehow damage the original wiring loom, so you can reverse this kinda. We will just make two little jumpers to the SSR. That means on one side we're going to have the spade connectors, and on the other side I use ferrules. Some people would prefer fork connectors or ring connectors, so you could just use whatever you seem fit. So I'm just going to use this black one and make two lengths of this. I haven't exactly measured this, but this length should be fine. Okay. I'm just going to get two more of the spade connectors and two of the ferrules. And make sure this has a good connection. Okay, and now on the other side, I'm gonna install these ferrules, which do actually fit. That's good. So I have this ferrule crimper. There is other versions, but this one works best. And I just leave these nice little crimps. Okay, so this one is CSSR. Next one on my list is the line labeled AR from the coffee switch and the valve board. So we're just going to make the same extension. Just do it a little bit longer. So again, I'm going to use a spade connector on one end, and we're just going to do another one for the pump. And two ferrules. Just need another color of wire here. If anything's too long later, we can just still shorten it and do new ferrules on there. Okay, just gonna do the same again. And the ferrules. And that's the next two lines. So we have the valve, we have the pump. Now we just need to do power to the board. So let me just quickly check. Move line, make an extension. Okay. think I left one out while copying. Edit. And also just a spade connector. I do have these piggyback spades here, and they did come with the kit, but in this case, we're not going to need them. So now we just have two more cables to do for the HV wiring, and then some LV wiring. So I'm just going to do one more black one and one blue one. So I have them about the same length. Yeah. And another blue one. Just repeat the same process. Okay. Yep, this one did not work. That's why it's important to test. So, yeah, be sure to make these tight and then give them a pull, see if they hold up. And I'll just redo this as well. This one was also not good. Go to pull, and it's good. Anything on Discord? Just these ferrules left now. And that one's done. Okay. So now we have the HV wiring done. This is all you need. One of these black ones, three blue ones. So we have line, neutral, pump, valve, 2 times SSR, and 2 jumpers. And now we're just going to make some LV cables. For LV, there are switch ports, or like there's a plug for switches on the PCB. That feature is currently not in software, and I don't think I'm going to install that today. But it is coming soon, and you can connect them up. So for LV on this machine, we're gonna just have 4 wires. There's 2 wires to the screen, and I do have these two here. Let me just quickly strip these. And the other end. So the screen has a JST XH 2-pin connector on one side and a JST PA 4-pin connector on the other side. So I'm going to start with the smaller one. This is a very flimsy connector. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. Two of these crimpers, they're very good for it. So this one's half done, and now I can just do the insulation crimp. And let's do the other one. This side's a bit shorter. All right, so these two are done. When you do crimp these cables for your screen, always look on the back of your screen which version you have, and also the pin out is printed on the back. So just make sure to not connect the wrong ones. Right, so that's the connector for the screen. And then on the other side, we just have to do a JST XH crimp. I'll just take these away. And clean this up a little. Okay. So the XH is a bit easier to crimp. It's a bit bigger. But yeah, it's basically the same. That's one. And two. And I just quickly have to check the pin out to see which way it goes in there. And that's the other side. Okay, so the display cable is also done. So now we just have one more cable to do. And this is the SSR cable. Need to bring some other wire. Don't have too many colors left, so this has to be a bit colorful. That's one. And then this is the other one. Yep. Redo this just a little bit. They need to be a little bit long on one side. So one side is again JSTXH, and then on the other side we're going to add ferrules or a fork connector or ring connector, whichever you like to connect to the SSR. Also, if any of you have questions about GaggiMate, anything for the future, just go ahead and ask. I do read the chat on the side. Okay, that was one side. Just gonna put these in here for now. And do ferrules on the other side. And that's it, cable done. Okay, I'm just gonna clear a bit of space here, because the next step is to open up the machine. And then I'm gonna rearrange this a bit so you can look inside. I don't need these crimpers anymore. First step on this machine is to remove the water tank. I did empty it before, so this will be a bit easier. And now the top panel is fastened with 4 little screws. Gonna undo them and then rearrange. Okay, that was that part. So now just take out this metal cover. It looks similar on the Gaggia Classic. It's a different shape. And I'll just quickly switch over to the screen and rearrange. All right. Should allow you to see. Think if we can zoom this a bit, maybe. Can't find it really. Okay, guess this will have to do. Okay, so in this machine we have a slightly different temperature sensor. Um, in the Gadget Classic, you get one that has an M4 thread. This one uses thermostats that are just screwed or like bolted to the or pressed to the surface. That's those two here. So I opted for one with this little loop here, and we can just add that to the little connection there. So I'm gonna undo the screw there and basically leave the old ones just in. I think losing the screw would not be ideal on this machine. Let me just quickly get some thermal paste. I think that will help. And just add this to the bottom. Okay. And now, which one's which? Stick. So T1 has the red connection, and T1 is the one we're going to bridge. So we're just quickly going to take off these two. And then use pliers for the next one. It doesn't help that it's not bolted down. Huh? So that was what I wanted to avoid. Oh, I might as well remove them. Okay, so this one is T1. Has a bunch of fresh thermal grease on the bottom. Now we can just pull this off. And then we're going to use one of our little jumpers we have here and bridge over where T1 was. Okay, that's T1. Now we have here T2, which has the ENGR for yellow and gray. This one does not want to come loose. Sit on one side. And the other one does not want to come loose. Mm, this one really doesn't want to go. And there we go. All right, let me see if I can find a little screw in here. Nope, does not seem like it. Look for that later. Okay, now we're going to take our temperature sensor and basically just screw it down in place where the little buckle for the thermostat was. Down here. Might as well use a washer for this, but I'm just going to use one of these little tabs here. And just screw this down on one side and on the other. Okay, that's the temperature sensor done. These we can put to the side. And then now we have the two exposed connections here from the steam thermostat, or it's T2 in the diagram. T2 is thermostat 140 degrees. And in here, I'm just going to put our two connections for the SSR. I haven't fully decided on where to place this yet, but I guess we will have to see. Okay, here's a little SSR. On these, you do have an output side and an input side. The output side is AC, so it doesn't really matter which way around you do it. And then the input side is DC, comes from the board. So on there, you have to kind of care how it works. So I'll just take these two connections here, connect them to the output. And that's the start of the SSR wiring. So the next step in my instructions here is remove the line labeled R from interruptor coffee and put it away. So R should be the red one. And then the coffee switch is the top one. I am going to use the pliers for this, because this is hard to reach, even with pliers. It makes sense to remove the top one first. What else do we do with IC? EL and N from IC and bridge them. EL and N is Blue? Oh no, white, PI and N. White and black, so we do have to remove these two connections here and bridge those. And it seems like because we are using um, the eco version of this machine, that we do have an extra wire that is not in the wiring diagram. We do have to remove this white one. And it just seemed to be insanely hard to remove. That's white. It's the orange one. Second. So we have access to the lower ones. That is red. And the last one here is black, which I'm trying not to damage. But that is easier said than done. So I think I can get the switch out, at least partially. And I seem to not like it, but the switch, the little connector is loose. All right. Now we have to bridge the black and the white one. So the black one is the one that just gave us a little bit of trouble. And since we have this orange one here, which is not in the wiring diagram, I might have to make another jumper here. The red one does connect to the heater line. So I assume, oh no, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong switch. The orange one can just stay on there. Might be for now. So I can access the Steam switch. Well, for the Steam switch, it says to either bridge them, or like I said, to either bridge them or leave disconnected. So I guess I'll just leave them on there. Doesn't matter. Okay, now we do have to access the pump, which should be at the bottom of this machine. It might be a bit hard for you guys to see. I will try my best. Just remove the front plate here. And the grip tray. Let me just change this camera up. Okay, don't actually need to come very far out. It's a swing off. Okay, that was that part. Took a lot longer than planned. And now I guess this part can go back. Which didn't actually have to come off. Okay, let's turn it around for you guys to see. So here we have the Eco PCB, I guess. And then right next to that is the pump. And then on the pump, there should be one red connection. Yeah, and this down here is a little screw I was trying to reach. But it is very hard to get to. Okay, let's check where the connection is on the pump. Turn it a bit. And then I guess it would be this one. A little thermal fuse on there. quickly get a power supply. And I actually made this connection the wrong way. So, and because this one is it's quite a bit longer than the other ones. Let's quickly see if we can fit the PCB down here, actually. Yeah, that does fit. Mm, maybe not. Okay, that does not fit here. Up here? Nope. Okay, PCB goes on top. There, I have to make another extension. So I just have to replace one of these blue ones with another one. And then this time it's going to be the female space connector instead. And then this one's just going to go through here into this cavity here. So around this length is fine. And this part you guys have seen before. And then for the first time, a female space connector. Which is just going the same way. So take these pliers. Maybe not actually. This works. These ones you can actually take out. Something like this. This one's still not quite there. No, okay, does not want to act nice. But with the other ones again. Okay. This one actually worked with my normal crimpers, so that's good. Put this one back on. We give it a little push. Stays on there. And now I'm just going to connect this up to the pump here. Like this. And then I'm going to route this cable up here, back to the top. Put the little back plate back on, because that was a pain to get off. And maybe give this a zip tie as well. Just zip tied here with the rest of them. Okay. And now I'm going to screw this back on. The other side too. And we can try to get this back plate back on, which was slightly painful to take off. So let's see. I'm not completely sure how to go about this. You just run this over. Okay. Well, I guess that works. Put this all the way down, both sides. Make sure not to pinch those. And then this is back on, and now I just have to try and hit that screw again, which only took like 10 minutes on the way. I got it. Now I just have to screw it down. I do actually not have a hot glue gun. Just have a very big hot glue gun in form of a 3D printer. But that's not gonna work. Okay, that's on there again. Anybody actually watching this on Discord? I guess not. Might just close that there then. All right. Let me just quickly wipe this off. So I did spill a bit of water here. And then we're gonna go back to the top view in just a bit. Right, like this little sheet. This is actually usually the only non-black part on this machine on the outside, which I did not like, so I just wrapped it in black. Oh yeah, no, Discord I just disconnected from. There was nobody there. Okay, that's one. And the other one. We can put the drip tray back on, and this looks like a coffee machine again. All right. Let's quickly clean this and switch back to the top view. I did actually not find the screw in there, which is slightly weird. Oh, gone. Okay, go back to this view. And then now we have to connect one extension to this orange cable, which is going to be our valve connection. Here we have the pump connection. And the last two that we have to install is one for line and one for neutral. I do recommend in the guide actually labeling all this, so you should probably do that. Yeah, sorry about the carousel. I use my phone as a camera, and that kind of wants to decide if it's portrait or landscape all the time. Okay. We have to take the red line from the steam switch. Let's get that off there. Done. And that will be our line connection. We have line, we have valve, we have the pump. Just route it under here. Get this out of the way, get this out of the way. This a little bit. Line, valve. And now we just need a neutral connection. And then the neutral connection, I take the black one from the Steam switch. The white one on the Steam switch goes to forward. Oh, that's the water switch. I'm sorry. Yeah, black one from the water switch works as well. And then that's the black one. So let's do our extension in black and pop that in there. And the white one can just go back on the water switch. All right. So this is probably good how it is. This one has these two little things on here. I have to remove them because we use a different style connector on the board. I just have to remember which one is which. Oh, which is also on the cable color. Okay. This is like a textile wrap cable. They are a pain to take the insulation off. It usually just goes anywhere. Yeah, just like this. And then I just have one conductor in there. And you do want to make sure to crimp these well, otherwise you're not going to have a good temperature reading. All right, so that's the cable. And now I'm just going to put ferrules on there. And just hope they hold. Okay. And now for the SSR connection, we made this little cable. And on this one, you have to kind of like look how it's orientated. Here on the right side, we have a plus on this one, and on the left side, we have the minus. I just chose blue for minus, so we're gonna use green for the signal, or for ground. You rather want to say that. Okay, let's put the cap back on here. I'm not gonna just screw this in here, because I will remove it and replace it with a proper one. So I will put it on the ground here. So it does have something to put its heat against. And I'll just show a couple of zip ties now. And now here we have all the connections to the PCB. And let's add another zip tie there. I haven't actually decided. I do see a little screw here that holds in um the group head kind of, but I'm not sure that's a good idea because it's going to be heated. So the PCB I'll probably put here on the side somehow, just in the top. How it fits in there. Maybe I'll just mount that like this in here, so that is also. No, no, that's the fresh water inlet. Not be too bad. Yeah, something like this I'll probably do. Hmm. Yes. Well, this works nicely. So I'll just glue it to the side here, and then it's kind of floating in there. Okay, let me just quickly cut this. I should have added that one to that. Oh yeah, this is our somehow bolted to this floor plate or to the back plate here. This one's probably going to be the coldest. And I could actually bolt it to, see if you can probably see it. There is like this little stud just showing out there. Maybe I could bolt it to that one. But I will look it up as well, how other people have done it. Okay, so well, this is where you should label them. This one is the three-way valve. So you connect it to these green headers here with a smaller screwdriver probably than what I currently have here. Maybe. Yep. Just put it in here for now. And then I'll go and get that screw well. You can either refer to the pinout on the website, or I've printed the pinout as well on the bottom. This one does not want to go. And then the pump. These two. Those can probably use a little trimming. Let's see. I'm gonna get a screwdriver. To fix these connections first. And this one has the silk screen as well on the bottom. Open this one and the other one. And connect a thermocouple. That's the first one. And the second one. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Desmo Demos just sent me the NSSR placement idea, and people seem to screw it next to the three-way valve, so behind this frontal cover that we took off earlier. All right. So now what's missing is the screen connection. This is a ring end. And then here we go. And there's a R connection, which I made a bit too long. It's not too bad. It's going to come in handy later when I do place it on another, I guess. And I need a zip tie. I'm ready to. This one, let's place this into its enclosure. And for some reason, this doesn't want to go in here today. Huh. Yeah, when you do get this, these pins at the bottom might be a bit too long. So you have to kind of take some pliers and take some of them off. At least slightly. Let's see if I actually have a tool to do that right now. Yeah, this should work. It's these pins from the big PSU. They are a bit long. Yep, that is probably true. I'm gonna get another tool. All right. And let's try this again. That sits on here just nicely. And now we can put the top on. And now this would just go in here like this. Or maybe just the other way around. Fine. Just like this. And this kind of sits on top of the steam valve now, which I do not like. So I'm just gonna get some double-sided tape and temporarily glue this on there. Maybe this orientation? Like this. And now, hmm, maybe the board can actually go next to the SSR down there. I'll leave this like this for now and gonna check it after a coffee. Cut that off. And I think we're ready to give it some power. Gonna plug this into the screen. I think I have to take it off of that. Well, apparently so. Guess I have to make that port a little bigger. Yeah, so you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to fit this in there. Yeah, that's what I just did. I just didn't know you'd have to do that. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, the power goes out. I did something wrong. Nope. Power still on and screen is starting. Starting but not connecting, which is weird.